Hello! Today I've got a lovely fun little project for you which is really easy to make. This little 12th scale sew-in box with removable lid. I've put a few little things inside as well just to get you started. And for this project you'll need a couple of types of card. I've got a slightly thicker card which I just got out of some food packaging to make the base and the lid. And then a thinner card for the outside edge of the basket. Cereal packet card would be a little bit too thick. Scissors to cut your paper and card, and scissors for your fabric. A small design fabric, just something like a nice fine cotton. And then waxed cord, this is 1mm thick, 1/32 of an inch I think that is. I've used a couple of colours for mine, but these are available in all sorts of colours, so you can have fun choosing a colour scheme. To do my circles I've used a compass and pencil, but you could just find something circular to that sort of size and draw around it. It doesn't have to be exactly to the sizes that I tell you. You can make it smaller or slightly larger if you wish. Ribbon for the handle. And this is a 2mm thick ribbon, and then I've used a braid to go around the outside edge of the lid. Cocktail sticks for applying glue and also to help apply the waxed cord on top of the lid. You'll see what I mean when we get to that part of the project. And then I just dispense my glue onto just a piece of old cereal packet card just to make it easier to apply. And the glue I've used again is this Gorilla Wood glue, and I find that works just as well with fabric and trimmings as it does with wood. But any PVA glue that you have, or fabric glue, will work. And then just a little piece of wadding you'll need just to line the lid. We've just given that a nice sort of spongy look there. And I think that's everything you're going to need. So let's get started. Okay, so using your slightly thicker card, cut 2 circles to make the base, measuring 22mm or 7/8 of an inch. And I used a compass to do mine, but if you don't have one of these, you could just find something about that diameter and just draw around it. And then glue those 2 pieces together. And then just secure those with clothes pegs. And then just leave that to one side to dry. And then using your thinner card, cut a piece that's 10mm high, or about 3/8 of an inch, and about 90mm long, so about 3.5 inches. And just curl it around your thumb just to sort of get the basic shape, like that. And then apply glue around the outside edge of your base piece. Just pop that down on your worktop and then just wrap that piece of card around. Keeping it nice and tight around the edge. Bit fiddly. And then just apply a little bit more glue to the end flap. And then glue that down. Again, pull it all nice and tight so there's no gap around the base piece. Line these 2 pieces up. And then just pop a peg on the join there, and that can be left to dry. So once your card has dried, cut a piece of fabric measuring 20mm or 3/4 of an inch by 85mm or 3¼ inches, and then apply glue to the inside edges of the box. And then just around the top outside edge. And then begin by gluing the fabric around the outside edge. And apply extra glue just behind the flap. Glue that down. Press those ends together. And then you want to tuck it all inside the box and against the sides. So press it all in and then just work your way around, pressing it against the edge of the box with your thumbnail and down into the bottom there. Until you've got nice flat sides inside and a flat edge around this top. Like that. And then using your thinner card again, cut another circle that's just about 1mm narrower than your box, and that's just to allow for the thickness of the fabric. And then cut a circle of fabric that's about 6mm or 1/4 inch wider than your circle. And then apply glue to the fabric, to the wrong side of the fabric. Getting it right to the edges. And put the circle on. And then just tuck the fabric around the circle. Just working your way round, folding it in. Press that all down. And then apply glue to that back side. And then pop that piece into the bottom of your box. Press that down. So that you're flattening those creases of fabric at the bottom. Okay, so now you want to apply glue around the outside edges of the box, trying to keep your fingers on the inside if you can, or everything gets a bit gluey. Okay, and then starting with the cord that you want at the bottom edge, attach the end of it along the bottom there. Just hold that into place and wrap it around, keeping it close to that bottom edge. And I'm not pulling too tightly because you don't want to misshape the box. And I'm just doing 2 rows of this first colour, but obviously you can pattern yours however you like. And then snip that off above where you started, and we'll try and then make this the back of the box. And just press that down. And this does all get very messy, but the glue dries clear, so don't worry about sort of leaving any glue residue on the cord. It will dry. And if you need to apply more glue as you go along because it's sort of drying off, then do so. And then take your second colour and attach it where that piece of cord ended, so join it in to that last piece of cord. Put glue all over my fingers. Put that, and again just hold that into place with your thumb and wrap the cord around. And again, keeping each round as close to the previous one as you can, and you can just tuck all those in as you go. Like that. Bit of a gap round that side. And the closer together you can get them, the better it'll look at the end. And then just keep going until you reach the top of the box. I'm going to try and keep going around until I reach that place where I joined in. Yep, so I'm back now where I originally attached the cord. So snip that off, and you might just need to apply a little bit more glue to the end of the cord, and then press that down. Press the cord down around the sides, and if you've sort of squashed the cardboard a bit, then just straighten that out. And there's our base. So that can be left to dry, and then we'll make the lid. So again, using the thicker card, cut a piece to the same diameter as the base, and then apply glue. And just glue on a piece of wadding. And just let that dry off for a moment. And once that's dried, you can just trim around there. And then again, cut a piece of fabric that is just slightly bigger, about 6mm or 1/4 of an inch bigger than the lid, and apply glue again to the card. And place that wadding side down onto the wrong side of the fabric. And then again, we're just going to tuck the fabric round and glue it down onto the top of the lid. So just pull in each bit, press it down, just sort of pleating it around as you go. Press that all down, and then taking your ribbon, just cut a piece about 20mm or 3/4 of an inch, and apply glue just to one end, and glue that down just to the sort of side of the centre there. And then apply glue to the other end. I'm just using a clean cocktail stick to pull up a little tab in the middle, and then glue that other end down. makes our handle. Just leave that to dry. Okay, so for this next part, have a couple of clean cocktail sticks handy, just to help with positioning the cord. And just apply a little bit of glue around the outside of that ribbon. And take your sort of first colour cord and just attach it alongside the ribbon there. And this is where the cocktail sticks come in handy. Just press that down. And this bit is quite tricky to get started, but once you are started, you'll sort of fly around quite quickly. So holding that down, bring the cord around the ribbon. I'm just going to use the other cocktail stick to hold that down. So we're basically going to wrap this round in a spiral, but just getting it started is the tricky part. So holding the end in place with your stick, just bring the cord around. And the best thing is to try to get it to stick to the glue before moving on. Keep pressing it down against the card. And then once you've made a start, you will sort of start going around a bit quicker. Again, keeping the cord as close to the sort of previous round as you can. And I'll just sort of hold that up and show you the start there. So we're basically just working it around, and depending on how long it's taking, you might just need to apply some more glue in the centre there. So just keep going around, pressing it down. Keeping it quite tight. I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on. Press all that down. A bit under there as well, that's coming up now. So it is quite fiddly, and you get into a little bit of mess as well with the glue. So make sure you wash that off afterwards. But once you've got the knack, you'll be able to whiz round with this. Okay, so that's all I want to do with the white. I'm going to join in my pink cord, so just snip that off and just glue that end down. And then apply glue around the sort of remaining fabric. Like that, and then join in your second colour again where you left off with the first colour. And use your cocktail stick to just press the end down, and then you can start winding that around. pick that up now. And you just want to keep working around until you reach the edge of the fabric. Like that. And then snip off the cord. And again, glue that down, just keeping it along that edge of the previous round. And press that all down. And this end here will be covered with our braid and also any little bits of fabric that are sticking out. Okay, so that can just be left to dry for a moment. Okay, so you now want to apply glue around the outside edge of the lid, and the braid will be covering this sort of gap here between the fabric and the cord. So that's where you want to apply the glue. And then make sure you've got a nice straight end at the end of your braid. And then just glue it down and work it around the outside. Keeping the top edge nice and straight and covering up that gap. And when you've gone all the way round, snip it off and just apply a little bit of extra glue and press that down. I think that looks really nice. Okay, let's see what we're going to put inside. Okay, so just a few very quick and simple little ideas here to help you start to fill in your sewing box. And I've just basically raided my little box of braid and ribbon, made a little roll of braid here, and glue everything together as you go. And then I've just wrapped some ribbon here around a piece of card. And then just using crochet cotton, I've just done some little tied bundles of embroidery floss. And then these little scissors I've had in my collection for a long time, but these are available from most miniature accessory suppliers. And what I've done is just glued a little piece of ribbon to the underside of the lid, cut a point in either end, and then you can just pop your scissors in there. And I'm sure you can think of lots more ideas to fill your sewing box. Maybe you could photocopy some sewing patterns you've got, things like that, or little packets of needles or something. Just photocopy and resize them using your computer. You could pop those in there. And I hope you've enjoyed this project. If so, please do subscribe to the channel, as there's lots more to come. And if you enjoy making miniatures, you might like to have a look at my latest book, Making Doll's House Miniatures in 1/12 scale. There's over 50 projects in there, and there's a whole section dedicated to miniatures made using the waxed cord. So if you've enjoyed this one, you will enjoy that. And the book is available from Amazon, and I'll pop a couple of links below. So I hope you'll check that out. And for now, thank you for watching, and hope to see you again soon.